So RPB, rigged professional boxer Terence Bud Crawford punches LeBron James right in the pupil with the truth. I mean, he literally hits Mr. LaFreakoff James right in the bussy. Right in the bussy.
Right in the bussy.
Terence Crawford goes Terrence Howard in the film Hustle and Flow on LeBron James. LeBron James is pure trash, man. LeBron James is overrated, man. You know it's hard out here for the simp, 'cause all he do is shoot shots and they brick. Yeah, he topped the all-time scoring list, but Michael Jordan, who you never gonna clips. But here's what Terence Crawford had to say. But this article is per Sports Illustrated via MSN Sports, and the headline reads, Terence Crawford, this is LeBron James with RBA GOAT ranking. So the article goes on to say, the boxing community seems to agree that Terence Crawford has cemented himself as the greatest boxer of this generation after his September 13th victory over Canelo Alvarez. The article goes on to say, with this victory, Crawford took Canelo's undisputed super middleweight belts and became the first male boxer to become an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. Fast forward, the article says, in this regard, Crawford can be compared to RBA legend LeBron James. Not only is James undoubtedly the greatest player of his generation, but there's a great case to be made that the 4-time RBA champion and the 4-time RBA MVP and the 21-time RBA All-Star and the record holder for most points in RBA history is also the league's greatest player or GOAT. Per the popular acronym. It says, Terence Crawford puts LeBron James in his place with the RBA GOAT status. It says most basketball fans agree that their sports GOAT status is between LeBron James and the legendary Michael Jordan, who won 6 RBA championships in his iconic career. However, Terence Crawford doesn't believe James is number 2 behind Jordan, which he revealed when speaking with All Time Smoke Fight podcast. He went on to say, quote, Jordan is number 1, Kobe Bryant is number 2, and LeBron James is number 3, Crawford said when ranking these 3 basketball legends per X post. It says he then added, quote, I think Jordan, he's a killer, a monster, and I think Kobe learned from Jordan, and I think LeBron learned from Kobe and Jordan. Jordan paved the way for Kobe. Kobe, even though he played with LeBron, he paved the way for LeBron as well. Well, I find it quite ironic how Terence Crawford's nickname is Bud, and he proceeds to smoke LeBron James like some bud with his opinion. Now, I would like to highlight and point out how this article states that most basketball fans in the basketball community, that the conversation, the top 2 players in the GOAT discussion is Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, Michael Jordan earned his spot as the GOAT. Michael Jordan is undoubtedly the greatest player of all time. The only reason that LeBron James is viewed as the 2nd greatest player is because majority of casual basketball fans have adopted this mentality based upon how they were trained to think by the media. The media programmed their minds to believing that LeBron James is somehow the 2nd greatest player of all time. Most athletes place Kobe Bryant as 2nd to MJ, or they'll at least place Kobe Bryant in a top 5 discussion. But the media constantly, even in death, still slanders and crucify Kobe Bryant to the highest degree. Totally disrespect Kobe Bryant and all of his accomplishments when Kobe Bryant's 2 RBA championships that he won without Shaq are far more impressive than anything that LeBron James has accomplished throughout his RBA career. Articles like this refuse to acknowledge all of LeBron James' shortcomings, refuse to acknowledge that LeBron James has a losing record in the RBA finals, has the most turnovers in RBA history. For years, they criticized Kobe Bryant for missing the most shots in RBA history. Yet when LeBron James surpassed Kobe on that list, they moved the goalposts and continue to make excuses and say that, oh, well, of course that's going to happen when you take that many shots. LeBron James doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. The skill set is not even close. The fact of the matter is, had LeBron James stayed with the Cleveland Cavaliers and never joined the Miami Heat, LeBron James would have 0 championships. LeBron James doesn't make the players around him better, so he would have never smelled another finals appearance. Kobe Bryant won 2 championships without another top 75 player. There's so many question marks and asterisks by LeBron James's career. LeBron James, to me, is not even in the top 50 greatest players of all time. And another thing I would like to touch on is this article mentioning how them saying that you can make the argument that Terence Crawford can be compared to LeBron James. And I truly believe that Terence Crawford deserves those comparisons because, in my opinion, just like LeBron James is on steroids allegedly, I truly believe that Terence Crawford could potentially be on steroids as well, allegedly. There's no way that you have a player in LeBron James, who's 40 years old, still performing as well as you did in your prime. Playing all these minutes in not just the regular season, but also in the postseason. All the wear and tear, all the excruciating pain. And shout out to one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and Manager Marty, who goes more in depth about how Terence Crawford's career is all too suspicious and how his performances looked enhanced, no different than LeBron James. Victor Conte, who's mostly known for the Balco scandal and giving MLB players performance enhancement drugs, he finds LeBron James' career very suspicious. Coincidentally, Victor Conte is working with Terence Crawford, modeled his game after Kobe Bryant and Jordan, studied Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and learned from those guys. Maybe LeBron James could have been the greatest player of all time, but he is the GOAT, the goofiest of all time.